Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the A to Z Poll podcast. My name is Zachary Siegel, and it's sorry for it being a little late this week. I know the games are tonight, but we got a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about my picks for tonight. I know last week I kind of gave you my whole thing, but we're gonna just get a little more specific about the game happening tonight and the three games happening tomorrow in the first round of the playoffs, as well as I'm going to talk about the award winners. Not just the Heisman, we're also going to get into some other awards as well. And I'm going to say who won and who I think should have won, and give you some of those reasons why as well. Um, if you like this kind of content, if you like college football, if you like anything that I do here, go make sure you like and subscribe. Leave your comments down there. Rate us, review us, send us to a friend or don't. I can't really tell you what to do. And as well as we're here at the A to Z Bowl podcast, bringing back the written portions. A little bit of a lull in the writing portion of it. Once we stopped making the A to Z poll itself, which I explained in a previous episode as not happening because the CFP poll was the only one that actually mattered. Um, I stopped, writing to go along with the podcast, but we're at a point now where I'm going to start explaining myself on paper as well. So that will be also um, in the on Twitter and in the description. All right, so like I said, we're going to talk about each pick this week. The four games that are happening tonight. We get Indiana versus Notre Dame. That should be a fun one. And then tomorrow we'll see Clemson versus Texas, SMU versus Penn State, and Tennessee versus Ohio State. So, where to start? We will be starting with the game happening in just 8 hours. That will be number 10 Indiana going to number 7 Notre Dame. So my official pick for this game is going to be Indiana. I think Indiana goes into South Bend, and I think they upset the Fighting Irish. I think that while both teams uh, are very, they're very good, they're very deserving of being here. I think that Indiana's offense will be too much for Notre Dame to keep up with. That being said, I do think it's going to be a very low scoring game. It's supposed to be snowy. It's snowy there right now. It's supposed to be cold. I think that if Indiana is going to their defense is going to be the factor that stops Riley Leonard both in the air and on the ground. Not that he's been super stellar in the air this year. My final score prediction, again, I think this could be a really low scoring game. I have this final score being like 16-14 in favor of Indiana. I think it's close. I think it kind of doesn't matter though, because whichever team wins will be fed to Georgia, Gunner Stockton or not. All right, next one we will go over. Clemson, number 12 Clemson versus number 5 Texas. I have Texas winning this game 27-23. Texas has really not beaten any opponents that were really worth their salt this year. I think that the majority of Texas's wins have not been very impressive. I think their most impressive one was Oklahoma, and they didn't even end up being that good of a team. And in that one, it took a while to get themselves going. I think Clemson's offense is really, really good. I just think that Texas's defense is going to be even better. Like I said, my final score prediction is going to be 27 Longhorns to 23 Tigers. Uh, in this, I think Texas takes a little too long to get going, but I do think that the defensive line of Texas is what really makes the difference here. And as good as I think Cade Klubnik is, I think that this, Texas is just simply going to be too big, too fast, too strong for this Clemson team. Next up on this list, number 11 SMU traveling to Happy Valley to take on Penn State. My pick in this is Penn State comfortably 38-17. Flat out, I just don't think that SMU is ready. I think that Penn State doesn't lose to teams like this. And by teams like this, I'm not trying to throw shade at SMU. I think that SMU has done a lot of things that a lot of people didn't think they'd be able to do this year. And I think that's very, very good for them right now. What I don't think is, like I said, that they're ready. I don't think they have the talent composite to be ready. I think that a team like Penn State is once again just going to be too big, too fast, too strong for them. And their defense just isn't going to be able to keep up with Penn State's offense. And I think that Kevin Jennings is going to have a really, really rough day in the pocket and Jarno scramble out of the pocket when Abdul Carter and friends are back there in an instant. Um, it wouldn't surprise me if SMU came out with something crazy and tried to open it up real early, but I also feel like Penn State is going to come out and not take any sort of chances. And finally, to round out the first round, I feel like this is going to be a relatively short episode today. Number nine, Tennessee travels to number eight, Ohio State. One of the first playoff games in the shoe. Um, my pick in this game is Tennessee. I believe it's going to be 31 to 23. It's going to be kind of close, but I do think that Tennessee wins this game. Um, I'm kind of picking trends here. I think both of these teams are very talented. Both of these teams are very, uh, they got the pieces they need to make it as far as they want to go. I think this is going to come down to two things. It's going to come down to quarterback play. It's going to come down to defense. And flat out, I think that Tennessee's defense is pound for pound the best defense in the country, and I think it's going to be too much for Will Howard to handle. I also think that we're going to see another situation like against Michigan, where Ryan Day just is not willing to take the necessary risks that will lead Ohio State to win. I think Ohio State plays a relatively mistakeless game. I don't see them going in and messing up. If I do, I think it's going to be like a Will Howard not reading the field kind of situation. But they haven't been able to establish a run game. And when they can't establish a run game, they have not been playing very well. And this build a line against Tennessee's front five, front four, which is incredible, led by James Pierce Jr. I think it's going to be a very rough day for Ohio State. Again, like I said, I think that Ohio State does put up points, but I think at the end of the day, Tennessee is going to prevail 31 to 23. Ryan Day, I think, is also like 1-5, 1-6 or something like that against the SEC, and even worse against like top opponents. So there's a lot of trends here happening that I think are not playing in the favor of the Buckeyes. All right, that is my prediction for how the first round will go. Go lock that into your parlays now. I know I have. Um, this would if you lose, it wasn't my fault. If you win, I'll take half the winnings. Um, all right. Next up on the docket. Last week we have our Heisman winner, our 89th Heisman winner, and Travis Hunter. There was a lot of disappointment from some people. There was a lot of praise from some people, and I think this has several layers to it. The first layer is looking at it like this, right? Travis Hunter played incredible football on both sides of the ball, winning both the Bednarik and Biletnikoff awards. That's the best defender and the best wide receiver in the country, which, when you think about it, is something that is rarely ever, if ever, done before. I'm actually not sure. I would imagine probably not that has ever been done before, won by the same person. Ashton Jeanty played against the Mountain West competition. Although he's putting up historic numbers, it's hard to compare, a player like Ashton Jeanty, a generational running back, to a generational talent of just pure football. Um, that being said, the next layer down is when you peel back the first layer, right? This this Heisman's it's an ogre. It's like it's an onion. It's got layers. You start to question some of these awards. So, should Travis Hunter have won the Biletnikoff Award? I don't think so, if I'm being honest. And I think that this is kind of like a sidestep. I think that you have the people deciding these and the committees and everything. People are not on the same page, and I think it's partially trying to push an agenda, partially just willful incompetence, where either your strength of schedule and conference matters or it doesn't, right? Because I don't really want you to sit here. I don't want to sit here and look at this and say, well, you know, as good as Ashton Genty was, he had, a way worse strength of schedule. He was in the Mountain West, which isn't a conference, a power conference. He's just, there's just no way he can, you can make this case for him. But at the same time, Boise State's third in the country, right? They're third in the playoffs. And you still had him winning the Doak Walker Award. But then you get to awards like the Bednarik and Biletnikoff Award that both went to Travis Hunter, and you look at, okay, well, Nick Nash from San Jose State University, he led in just about every single relevant passing receiving record. And you can talk for days about who should have won the Bednarik Award. That's not just the best cornerback, because I truly think that if Travis Hunter spent the entire year playing cornerback, just specifically DB or cornerback, then he would have been far and away the best. But because he didn't, I think you can make a huge case for either James Pierce Jr. or Will Johnson, or even players like Mason Graham or Michael Williams. I think Mason Graham could have won it last year. I think there's a lot of players right now who you can make a case for had a more impactful defensive year. I think that Ben Award was the most deserving that Travis Hunter got of the two awards. But my problem here is either it matters or it doesn't. The other award that I wanted to highlight was the John Mackey Award, which went to Tyler Warren. Now, Tyler Warren played against some good Big Ten competition. He played a very dynamic brand of football. He threw the ball sometimes. He ran the ball sometimes. He tied the record for the most receptions by a tight end in a game. He had a season for the ages. But you know who had a notably better season? 6'4", 230-pound uh Harold Fannin from Bowling Green. Also FBS Division One team. So it's not like I'm talking about FCS people here. He led in 28 different relevant tight end related stats and somehow didn't come away with the award. But Ashton Genty won the Doak Walker Award, which I fully agree with. So my problem is either it matters or it doesn't. Because if it doesn't matter, right, then Harold Fannin should have won the John Mackey Award. Nick Nash should have won the Biletnikoff Award. Maybe you could still make a case for Travis Hunter for the Bednarik Award. And then I think you say that Ashton Genty runs away with the Heisman. But if you're saying that it does matter, then yeah, give Tyler Warren the John Mackey Award. Give Travis Hunter, give Trey Harris, give whoever you want the Biletnikoff Award. Give whoever you want to the better award, it doesn't matter. But then give the Doak Walker Award to somebody like Cam Scadabo or RJ Harvey, right? Another two other or Omari and Hampton or any of the power running backs that were feasibly better comparatively to their competition. Also make Boise State the 12th seed and put Arizona 3 and Clemson 4, right? It either matters or it doesn't. I said this last week and I've said this before, but I think that for all of these awards or for a lot of these awards, you need a committee, right? You need just a committee, and you need a committee that's consistent and a committee that is their job, not a committee that you're looking at and you're like, oh, well, this committee is going to decide the John Mackey Award, and this committee is going to decide the Fred Biletnikoff Award. And this one, no, you need one committee that's going to do all of these things and keep some level of consistency in there so that we don't have a situation this year uh where we have Travis Hunter, who is now the lowest PFF graded Heisman winner ever, and Ashton Genty come in second, who would have been the highest graded Heisman winner ever. I think that the level of inconsistency throughout college football has come full circle, right? I think we're now looking at a lot of these awards and thinking like, and look, at the end of the day, does this really matter? I think there's two camps to look at this in. One, Tyler Warren was already going to be the number one tight end off the board. Regardless if Harold Fannin won the John Mackey Award or not, Tyler Warren would have been the number one off the board. But could nationally recognizing a smaller school tight end like Harold Fannin really benefit his draft stock? Yeah. So this inherent bias is very much affecting the future of the game for some of these players. Do I think that any NFL GM worth a salt probably already knows who Harold Fannett or Nick Nash is, or anybody else who didn't get who got snubbed from these awards are? Yes, absolutely. It's their job. I would really hope that they know them. But I think that there's just a natural, uncontrollable bias towards the way that you would perceive someone if you're like, wow, this guy went out and balled out. Not only did he ball out, but he won a national award. These players were, a lot of them were recognized on the first team AP, but and the first team All-American and all that. But I still just feel like there's like it matters to push an agenda. And I also think that if you don't give the Bednarik nor Biletnikoff award to Travis Hunter, maybe some people vote separately, like vote differently, right? I was listening to the Joel Klatt show the other day. He's like, "How can you not give this guy the Heisman vote or the Heisman award when he won both the Biletnikoff and Bednarik award?" Yeah, I get it. He did, right? That's pretty impressive on paper, but did he deserve either of them? I know I'm going to get a lot of pushback, and I think the Bednarik Award again is something that you absolutely can make a real argument for, but I don't think Travis Hunter was a top five wide receiver in college football this year, and definitely not statistically. Um, is he a generational talent? Absolutely. Does he deserve the Heisman? Yes, I do. And I think that in any other year, Ashton Genty and Travis Hunter could individually, not against each other, but individually win it over like put Ashton Genty in any of those other running back Heisman winning years. He's probably winning it, right? Put Travis Hunter in almost any year and where you don't have the number one quarterback on the number one team balling out. Yeah, they're both probably winning it that those years. I think that an interesting thing about this Heisman race, which I kind of just mentioned a second ago, was the fact that we did not have from any of the big power, big top dogs. We didn't really have like a runaway favorite this year. Normally, it's the quarterback on the best team because they're all driven through him. Like, let's see what we've had. The vast majority of them have been quarterbacks in the past like 5 years. I mean, Caleb Williams, maybe not the best example, not the best quarterback, but not on the best team. Um, Bryce Young, the quarterback on the best team. Joe Burrow, quarterback on the best team. Um, Baker Mayfield, quarterback on one of the best teams. Kyler Murray, quarterback on one of the best teams. Lamar Jackson, quarterback on one of the best teams. Jaden Daniels, quarterback on one of the better teams. Again, not a great example, but you guys understand my point is that generally speaking, it's the quarterback on the best team. And this year we were in a very unique situation. Like I think there are years where both Dylan Gabriel and Cam Ward would be 1 and 2, or either one could win it depending on the competition was against. Let me know in the comments if you guys think who you guys think will win this week in these games, who you think is going to win tonight, and who you think should have won all these awards, or if you think that they all got them right. Um, that's going to about wrap it up for the day. Again, I said this would be a little bit shorter of an episode. Next week, we'll go over. I'll be filming from a secret location, which so I'll see you guys then. But as of now, I guess we'll be talking about the next round of the playoffs. And from there, remember, if you like college football, subscribe, leave a comment, tell me what you think. Go follow me on Twitter and go watch some football this weekend. And if your team's still in it, I hope they win. Bye bye.